and coming back from a loss like that is really difficult.
Yeah, it is going to be difficult indeed. Well, we're heading into the Prime Gaming Age and Select. What's interesting about Split is that both teams don't actually play this map all that often. GAMBIT, they've only played it 4 times in Stage 3, and 100 Thieves have only ever played it 9 times in the entire iteration of this roster, of course. KO, again, we have to keep an eye out because that is what they went for the last time they did this, but also... okay, this is things are still going the way we're expecting, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah,
the fact that we see Hiko going Viper, I think, tells us that we are exactly expecting what is about to come out, an Astra Viper, and potentially the KO. I would be shocked to see that, to be honest, but it does have some value. We saw a lot of teams in NA actually do pretty well with it.
Yeah, but also Chronicle was also expected to lock in the Viper as well here, Kukuka. The Viper versus Viper, Sean is going to be loving this.
Oh, I'm already loving this. Oh, this is perfect.
Gosh,
I mean, they have to go for the comfort picks here. This is the big one. You need to go for what you're most comfortable with. The thing that makes 100 Thieves different is, of course, the KO. You can prepare against a lot of comps, but you always have to prepare specifically for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, but the other thing is true, too. 100 Thieves has to prepare specifically for other opponents if they're playing KO. We saw that on Ascent when Sean broke it down, how difficult it was to get that knife, to get any value whatsoever. Sure, he was getting the information early on, but actually disabling things is a different story.
And they were looking onto Nats, so take care.
Yeah, Nat's back on the Cypher too. That's going to be exciting. Well, this is it. A win from either teams will book them a place at playoffs. Doug and Riv, let's see who's coming out on top, NA or EU.
Thank you so much, Sue. Yes, one map to decide who's going to get the early ticket to the playoff bracket, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. We're going to be heading over to Split, and I think one of the things that's interesting to talk about as the Deaths touched on compositions is they're right. Steel on the KO. There's some instances in which you get value. Yes, you're going against the Cypher again, and you know what Snat's going to be able to do as he tries to anchor a sight with a knife in his face, but that wasn't a problem on Ascent.
And before we came into this, no, it wasn't. And before we came into this, I said this is a map that could either, pull your team apart and expose a lot of things, and that would be great for the other team, and that means the other side rolls it. And it's because Split can be such a tough map if you fall behind on economy. Think about the B site. If the enemy has taken the B site and you're low on util, the best way to take it back is to dive right in, which becomes so dangerous, and you're forced into that position all the time. So anybody starts running away with Split, it's tough to come back.
Clear out a ton of space, really. Shadows Trailblazer did, cleared out mid, cleared out ropes, got all the way down there. Now, Steel did reposition, so they should not know he's there, and he's got the shorty. By golly, he's got the shorty.
They saw.
I think they spot him. Yep. Get out, abort. This is not safe.
So far as he stayed, 0 point to check. Oh, still there. Yep, that's exactly what I saw. He also heard 2 footsteps on the exit. So they're going to play this one slow. Did he give himself a classic, too? What a cheeky boy.
Quiet opening round here from GAMBIT. Asuna's going in aggressive. Great Astra Star. Asuna able to clear up Chronicle, and now they understand they weren't able to get into B, so they're going to come right back into Steel. The shorty, good for one, with a flash in his face, but that's all it was good for. They cleared him out. Now you've got presence to understand, right? Like, they could be heading back towards A through ropes, or they could be pulling back. A tricky spot to be in, and that's why you see 100 Thieves. They're just playing back. Right, like they're going to play back towards spawn, give up a little bit of retail, and that's fine because you're still going to be in a position to retake if possible.
Defo feeling a little pressure. I like the cam. They're going to have to turn around and look at it, but it's just knowing who's coming to the site. Another gravity well. Beautiful by Nitro to just slow everything down right now. Still in astral form, protected by 2.
Defo is able to get the spike down, but Ethan swings around with 2. They get the last kill that they need. They are going to be able to get the defuse as well. 100 Thieves win the pistol.
And again, 100 Thieves get to rely on the last 2 maps of how GAMBIT plays attack. They have come in on the attack side every time, what pistol rounds have looked like, whether they're aggressive, whether they're flanking. 100 Thieves get a little bit better read on it. Asuna with the snap. Good thing he was in the range before they played.
Yeah, good thing. And again, we talked about the shorty, right? And how impactful it could have been. He did get his. He got one on the way out, but you highlighted Nitro's utilization of his gravity wells. So good. 2 key moments, right? The first one didn't lead to kills, but it led to a denial of space. The second one did, and that provided so much bang for buck.
Let's see how they play this. Stars set up Caterpillar on the way into A to make things quite difficult for the side of GAMBIT if they do decide to engage. You can see Nitro hanging out by screens as good space is being taken in mid, and that's about all they need until Asuna fires back.
It was another one. It was another gravity well that Asuna swung off of and was able to get a kill. And yes, GAMBIT don't have much as far as firepower to fight back with, but we highlight a Nitro and his excellent utilization of his util. That's 2 rounds in a row now where it's been impactful.
100 Thieves gaining info on the right side. We saw Ethan able to use a little bit of that Astra smoke for assistance, and now realizes they've got some trickery going on around them, and they back up to regain composure.
GAMBIT should be able to get, I was going to say they should be able to get some presence towards A for free, and then they do, so they are able to get onto site. They don't have Heaven control, though. Chronicle gets a spike down. Given the distance of that and the weapons that you've got working on for 100 Thieves, you want to get in their face, right? You've got Spectres, you want to take that fight, put it in their laps, and remove the benefit that the Sheriff has as far as distance goes over the Spectre. Flash out, Shados out too. Chronicle's left alone, he gets cleaned up. He goes good for 2, Nitro gets a defuse, 100 Thieves get to 2.
Not too much damage done for the Thieves. Asuna's going to be focused 2 away from his ult point now, which will be a big focus for them to keep controlling some of these rounds. And we'll see maybe a few Phantoms or Vandals coming in for 100 Thieves as they bonus in. We'll see what GAMBIT can bring out this round to see if they can start their aggression from the attack side here. This is the first time they've really been snuffed out at the start of a map. And we'll see if 100 Thieves can keep this going.
Yeah, Riv, I think you make a really good point there. The last 2 maps have been GAMBIT early on. GAMBIT look good. GAMBIT get a lead. Yeah. They've got money. They've got like a huge gap as far as rounds go. But this is really the first time that we see something cooking for 100 Thieves.
And look at the play here. 3,900. You see 15 spent there for Ethan. But they're just going Sheriff armor. They're looking at the forward round, saying it's all right if we lose this bonus. We're not going to buy too hard, so we can get more consecutive buys later.
Middle space cleared out. Steel gets pushed back. Defo's going hunting. The dash in controls Heaven.
Waiting for a flash there. You see him just turn in real quick. They're expecting everything. So many things they process, these duelists, as they dive in and have to dodge around each bit of environmental utility. And now, Asuna on the flank.
He's in a great spot. They're going to try to work in towards B. Asuna's on the flank. There he is. 1, 2. No, not able to get a third. The Vandal from Shados is able to take care of him, but they try to get on despite. He goes flanking around. Nats was in his face. Nats good for a second. He still has to get the spike down, though. Nitro in that 1v2. He's flanking around. And remember, this is a Spectre, right? He's only got a Spectre going into a Vandal and a Phantom. He's been so good on Astra up until this point. Now, mind you, it's only been 3 rounds, but he's been pretty damn good up until this point. But can he do it again? Can he break the economy of GAMBIT? No, he cannot. 100 Thieves drop the round. GAMBIT, they're in a better pot.
Asuna with that defuse gets his ult this round, but GAMBIT says, no, we'll take the win overall. They're going to be feeling very good about that. They did not fall to the bonus 100 Thieves. We heard GAMBIT down on the stage cheering it out right there. Nats with a few pivotal kills here before he was able to get the spike down. And GAMBIT's definitely got the momentum to keep this going if you were questioning.
All right, now, how did GAMBIT respond, right? You won that round. You were supposed to win that round. They've tried working the middle of the map a lot, right? They've used its Sky Util, but 100 Thieves are doing the same. This is now the second time that they lean heavy in aggression and denial of space towards A right off the bat to farm those ult orbs to get Ethan one step closer to that Seekers.
3 ultimates as well on deck for GAMBIT here. Defo found a Sheriff shot, and mid's always a place you can get a little bit of aggression towards. You see Steel here using a bit of timing around 1 minute and 20 seconds to see if anybody had creeped up mid, and the answer is yes. Is it a double drop? Getting antsy.
Flash
onto the
flash. Shados is able to get 2, though, onto Asuna and Steel.
Huge.
And that, I mean, Shados, they still have control of mid there, right? Like, numbers in favor of GAMBIT. They're going to get the Seekers out, too, out of Shados, and that's going to give them so much room to work with. I mean, the thing, like, GAMBIT, they almost have too many options right now, right? Like, Spike's going to have to rotate all the way back towards B. You've got presence that way from Shados and from Redgar. But that's it for now.
Was that a pullback? I think Nitro actually just fired those stars, and actually, sorry, that was Redgar to make sure the site was going to be clear, and then he got one back. You can see it as a smoke there. Nats peeking slowly. Great positioning, great aim as he takes down Ethan. And that is going to be the uplink to make sure they know exactly where the rest of 100 Thieves are.
Remaining members of 100 Thieves now. I mean, they've got some trouble in front of them. They haven't gotten onto the site though. The spike isn't down yet, but they should be able to do so. Hiko's gonna get messed up. The spike does go down. Nitro's playing from up top. Hiko's just down to 30 health, and Nitro's been spotted as well. So at this point, yeah, you just kind of back up, save. It doesn't feel good. You're not gonna be able to work your way in, carry those weapons into the next round. So GAMBIT are going to be able to tie us up at 2 apiece. I think one thing that we have to keep an eye on, Riv, is one of the players that we highlighted so much on this GAMBIT roster leading up to this tournament was Nats. And by and large, he's been quiet, right? Like it hasn't been pop off. He hasn't had his crazy moments, but the start to Split so far has been all Nats. And if he gets going, 100 Thieves may be in trouble.
I think one of my favorite things that came out of Stage 3 for Nats was something Tom Biz says, and that he, for Stage 3, and you can still see this in him, is that he's the king of positioning. And what does that mean? And he kind of described it as putting yourself in a spot where your opponent's going to have to do something incredible to take you out. And I absolutely love that. And you do see that play style in Nats and how strong he is. Shados as well, just absolutely obliterating what should have been a 1v1 trade. That's what makes GAMBIT special. When you see them turn a corner and they continuously wow you with these 2 frags that should only be a quick trade. It's a lot what brought him through the first map and the first half of Icebox. Here all tied up at round 5. Let's see how we get into this one. It's going to be a bit of an eco for 100 Thieves.
A bit of an eco, but do they change their approach, right? Like, it's a slight difference. A heavy presence A the last couple of rounds. This time they're working mid. Asuna gets a Blade Storm online, but Ethan's already been popped. No advantage that way. Just try to continue to work the middle of the map. And again, as you mentioned in the previous round, Riv, GAMBIT have been working mid, right? Like, they've been able to get some space. They've been able to work their way up, and the kills have been traded, yes. Ouch. That has not been safe, though.
Great trade. This is what they look for. Chronicle going to Viper bite down, and it looks like they control A bit as the team starts to rotate all the way back over. Spike's going to get picked up here by Redgar, I believe, on the way in.
Nitro has a weapon upgrade. Oh, but Defo swipes to it. Defo's in trouble. Chronicle able to clean up Steel. Asuna cleans up Defo. Wow. Chronicle good for 3. Asuna goes up top. Asuna's not going to get anything with that Blade Storm as Redgar pulls him out of the sky to give GAMBIT the lead.
Chronicle waking up a little bit. He's definitely one of the ones you can see with the frags coming through. They consider him a bit of the soul of the team. He loves to be playing a variety of champions. Here we see Chronicle on the Viper, and he is absolutely holding it down. That first trade and then the movement to put himself out on a catwalk, it absolutely throws 100 Thieves for a loop as he just continues to play different angles. Woo! I felt that through the screen. Let's go into round 6 here. It is going to be the operator picked up by Asuna. Full rifles for the side of GAMBIT.
And again, middle of the map control, right? Like, they felt that was a weakness in the early rounds. Now they're willing to invest. They're willing to apply pressure there. Previous round was a Blade Storm. This time it's the op. Great setup, great adaptation from 100 Thieves.
Steel getting pushed out here by a bit of a smoke. He's staring at a star right now. Asuna fires one. Defo goes down. That's a big and pivotal frag to start off the round. Looks like they're all just playing on sound right now. You can hear quite a bit of a rotation. Ethan and Steel back and forth before they decide nothing else has been calmed yet, and they'll go back to a reset.
So Steel is in a spot to make a play here. Oh, yep, the swing out. Ooh. It was dicey, but he landed the shots. Yeah.
Sun was in his eyes.
Able to clean up Shados there. The spike is rotating, taking the scenic route all the way back towards A, where they have gotten some room, but Asuna is repositioned. He was across the middle of the map early on. Now he's working his way back. You have to keep an eye on that, so as he's working the middle of the map as well. They've got to pull off. Asuna tries to get away. Excellent gravity well. Asuna missing the first shot, but he lands the shots with the classic. Gets cleaned up on the way out. A parting gift, if you will, as Nitro drops as well. Ethan. It's just Redgar in a 1v3. Ethan lands the shots. We're tied up at 3.
It does not seem the same for both teams. There's definitely wear and tear that happens after 3 maps, and it's getting a little bit sloppier on the takes, on the angle checks, and what utility is still being used to take these sites. Both teams gaining advantage off of bits here and there. A great play with the 0 point into Asuna's first op shot there. Steel bringing the recoil back down after the calibration shots come out, and they are able to capitalize on that round once again. Like you said, tied up at 3-3. Very much still in either team's hands here as we're on our 3rd map of Split.
Quiet for around both ways. Cosmic Bat's coming out early, and it's all a ruse, right? Like, they're gonna make presence towards A. They draw out the Seekers, but look at where the spike's headed, and it's smart. I mean, Hiko kind of wise to what's going on, right? They're going to invest that. He's still leaning that way. They're starting to pull off. The knife doesn't tag anyone, so they know there's no presence towards A. Deep Viper's Pit coming out from Chronicle. Look at that. That's covering half spawn.
I love these mind games right now. Abilities across the map. 100 Thieves finally figuring out what is the true execution, and they'll try the retake on B.
And they have no presence in Garage, right? So GAMBIT are going to be able to huddle back. They still have control of a defender spawn. They have control of Garage as well. They just have so much presence, and that forces 100 Thieves into a position where they're going to have to fight their way through what's going on. Chronicle, oh my gosh, the swing from Ethan! But Defo's Judge, of all things, gets the kill on his steal. Nat's playing around. No, he's going to get cleaned up. Redgar in a 1v3. Ethan on the defuse. He at least gets it to half. Oh, the tap is there! Redgar, he's going to have to push it. Nitro has the stick, and Nitro wins the round. Oh my gosh!
I cannot believe how close these rounds are, just coming down to the 1v1s, but they're instant. Like I said before, we're not seeing as many of the trades, as many as the capitalizations off of 2 frags and 3 frags. It is up to everyone in this game. You can't give an inch. And it is awesome to see all 5 performing for both teams here. Another round coming up. Redgar, absolute stellar play in this round. Hides himself, but cannot get the final shot on a healthy Nitro.
Crispy. Bro, crispy.
Yeah, from both sides.
And really from GAMBIT, like they just... I could talk about that round for a really long time, but we have entered the 8th round. It's still good weapons the majority of the way. Chronicle, the one exception is he's got nothing but a Bulldog. Defo on light armor, but you see the op in the hands of Asuna holding down Garage, and there is going to be a bit of a peek! Ooh!
Look, Hiko threw his ult down mid. They zero-pointed immediately to make sure nobody could even walk into Hiko's ult. He owns that area now. Full agency as well as an Astra Star if he does have any trouble.
Well, and so the interesting thing is, like, early on in rounds, GAMBIT have worked mid, but that hasn't been a rotation point for them, right? Like, think about how they've had to flip the map. They've gone through spawn. They haven't really worked mid a ton. So this is valuable early on, but I just question how much room you're going to get in the mid-round calls, in the late-round calls. And look, now, they know that the Viper's Pit is obviously there, but honestly, that's no different from how they've rotated from B to A and vice versa.
Fake from B. You can see Redgar throwing smokes down, pushing back Asuna to find a different position, and he's going to get Asuna pushed all the way back to decide to go on A now, because 100 Thieves has not bit to a rotation.
Oh! Redgar's able to land the shots onto Asuna. Ethan's going to get cleaned up as well. Damn, Nitro going to have to anchor down the site. Nitro good for 2, buys time, but Chronicle trades him out. Hiko up top in heaven. Steel's going to be playing around as well. Hiko cleans that up. Steel's going to be flanking around. So the spike is down. This is a brutal spot for Redgar. He's got the op that he picked up off of Asuna. He's going to trade it out. My gosh, he's going for the win. He's going to drop down, waiting to see where he can find. Steel's playing off site. The flash is there, but he flashed Hiko as well. Drops things down to a 1v1 with 4 seconds, but is he going to have enough time? That's going to be just around the corner. He does get the spike down. Redgar. He's got util. Surely he's got the Cosmic Divide too, but surely he doesn't use it in this instance. You're right, no armor. Steel. Waiting for time! Steel wins the shots for 100 Thieves. Knife's edge, Riv. Knife's edge.
Every one of these rounds could honestly go either way. They set the dance floor up, and 100 Thieves will tap dance another win into their favor on this one. Steel backing up to have the wide range angle. He didn't want to push forward. He didn't want to get flanked from elbow. Knew they were in sight near screens and just waited for the peak on both sides, and it was really anybody's shot. 5-3 now as we move into round 9. I think GAMBIT was completely ready to see no one in A. With the way that Redgar had moved in and dropped Asuna, 100 Thieves felt completely fine, thinking that I was just one down, and GAMBIT ran right into a wall of Thieves.
Rifles across the board. Both teams early flash. It's been interesting to see how both teams, oftentimes you'll see teams fight for garage control, right? Like they invest a lot of utility to fight for that space, but it's actually been the opposite, at least on this map, where both teams have fought for a lobby control very heavily.
I believe Nitro just pulled back some stars. You saw one disappear from mid. And it looks like they are getting the Astras reset on both sides here, as you can see them disappear from the mini-map. So the ground Gambit has wanted to gain here, pretty efficient, and let's see if they can grab any advantage off of this one. Slow play, usually finding Steel down here, and they'll waste, not waste, but use, I should say, a flash on it.
I mean, they've made noise, right? Like, Defo's thunderfooting down there. Everyone knows where he is, so there's no question about it. And you see Ethan is pulled over to help, right? Because for a while, they didn't have a ton of visibility of what's happening on A ramps. They knew they didn't have mid control as well. Now they're going to bust out the Seekers to apply pressure towards A. The spike is that way as well. That's certainly where they want to make this hit. Asuna's got to go big here because they're about to have their hands full.
30 seconds left.
Ooh, kind of dividing both sides. A little trickery here. They haven't shown too much, and this could be big for Asuna. Takes down one guy. No one expecting the double rope play.
I mean, the round is... Oh, I don't want to say it's entirely lost, but this late in the round, you're at a heavy numbers disadvantage. You haven't really gotten onto the site. The spike is all the way back on top ramps. I don't know that there's really any room for Gambit to make anything happen. Yeah, you see they're not pulling any trigger. They're just going to wait things out, carry the rifles into the next round. Asuna's 2 kills there won them that round.
Yeah, the choke point was not expected, especially to take down 2. We talked about the trades, and that Cosmic Divide from Gambit, I loved that. They just weren't able to play around it. It cut off so many important first peak positions, all the way to B Heaven upstairs side, all the way to B entrance from the defending side. Really great thought and a way to use the Cosmic Divide, but just not able to act on it to get themselves that round.
Gambit calling a timeout here. Down 3 rounds in this map 3, folks. If you are just joining us, I am so sorry because you have missed a banger. Map 1, all Gambit. I mean, top to bottom, right from beginning to end. Map 2 looked like it was going to be the same. Gambit got to 11. Is it 11?
Yeah.
11, if I'm not mistaken. And then 100 Thieves just woke up.
Yeah.
Right?
Got 11 rounds of their own straight.
Absolutely popped off, forcing us to map 3. And map 3 so far has been close, right? Like, it's been tightly contested. But you feel 100 Thieves the last couple of rounds. They've been able to read the map well. They haven't bit on some of the fakes that Gambit have thrown, as you mentioned. And they have the lead, an important lead at that, playoff bracket spot on the line.
Incredible. It really is. And a lot of what happens in games, that last map, I could say, could be quite deflating here. We're seeing Gambit now take one of their first, not extended leads, but first leads where they're going to be able to capitalize on some of the eco rounds Gambit will be forced into. Gambit wasn't able to put as much power in that mid area, and Steel has been much more aware of a timing when to use 0 point and say he's here, they're not, and how to react around that.
Yeah, I think we talked about what have we learned from 100 Thieves. They get punched in the mouth. How do they respond?
They
respond fine. Yeah. What have we learned from, like, I think this is important too because we have a lot to learn from Gambit.
Yeah.
How do they respond when they get punched in the mouth, when they're hit with adversity, when they lose a huge lead, right? Like, I think we talked about going into the series, we're going to learn a lot from both teams. I think there's still a lot to be learned from Gambit, but 100 Thieves so far, maybe not map 1 or first half of map 2, but they are living up to the hype now, and they're picking up right where they left off. The break doesn't seem to have caused much of a difference at all, as Asuna is able to get second, make that 3, and dashes away.
And look at the amount of assists that Steel is getting.
Oh boy!
Bad timing to look. Hiko gets taken out by the one-way. He set up himself. Shots from Chronicle. Almost match every member he needs.
All right, Nats. I hear you're pretty freaking good at this game. You find yourself in a 1v3. Spike, nowhere near you, but she should be able to pick that up.
Yep.
And he's got all day. He could pitch a tent, think twice about it, 3 times about it, read a book, and then decide where he wants to exec on the site.
One thing working in his favor is he does not have to see anybody until he's quite deep, which gives him 1v1 angles to work off of. Oh
wow. Now,
0 point comes out.
He is 1 point away from having the neural theft, right? So get that online. All right, never mind.
Insta-turn.
We tried.
Wait, let's check that side.
Yeah, we tried. We tried building a world in what if. There was just nothing doing there, and I think as we were talking about in the break for 100 Thieves, it seems to continue to pile on. Asuna popping off with 3 their control across the middle of the map. It's been excellent.
And looking back, as I was mentioning before, we saw the frags keep coming in about Steel and what KO brings to that table. We talked about it the first time we saw them play against the Von Liberty, but this KO brings Steel's assist average through the roof.
Yeah.
The knowledge he provides. He just got 2 or 3 assists there for Asuna. I think Asuna cleaned up the last one. But that's also Nitro for Ethan. Nitro and Steel have been putting up so many assists. to get those kills.
Asuna, my gosh, the balls on that guy to go in that deep with the Blade Storm. Nitro, the anger picks it up as well as he gets to. Shados is left alone in a 1v3. It was a hot and heavy call coming out from 100 Thieves. They felt the pressure coming in from GAMBIT, and they punch right back.
What a quick round. Really setting the fuse on that one, showing GAMBIT a little bit differently how to play defense with attack for one round. It kind of spicing it up, changing the variety, and making sure GAMBIT really isn't feeling comfortable with the space they can take. Oh my word. Dude, Cutco delivery.
Well, and that's just like, that's such a brutal spot, right? Because you've got Asuna who's mad ladding his way into the back line, right? Yeah. Like zero regard for life, and then you go, well, we gotta get away from that guy. Where are we gonna go? Oh, into Nitro's lap?
For sure.
Okay.
And there are rounds, Doug, we've seen Spectres coming out for GAMBIT as they kind of partial buy, find their way in. Here, back to rifles. What can they put up? Asuna takes a shot as both are missed. Actually, armor there off of Defo.
Yeah, Asuna got tagged up a little bit as well, right? Yep. Down to 27 armor, 89 health. Nothing aggressive here. I mean, a good bit of trading of util, but Asuna! Asuna gets another one. Shados trades him out, but the damage has been done mid. That's not a safe space. Steel's able to recontrol that area of the map. The spike is still back in spawn, so you know they're not fully confident on where GAMBIT want to go. And now Seekers come out.
Well, this is one of those rounds where GAMBIT shots are on fire. They've already dinked two. Like a little rope game from Nats and Steel as they head down in, and he's going to rip off the null command and see what he can find as he moves around.
Freaking Mission Impossible impersonation we've got going on here. Again, you mentioned the ult, denying any sort of anything, and for GAMBIT, as is customary for them, just wait, right? Like wait things out. Steal!
Almost.
Redguard cleans that up. There is an op down there. It's not being picked up.
3v3, looks like they're trying to block off at least one angle so they know exactly what they're looking at when they get into the site. Ethan is low, but Ethan is in a spot to make an impact play.
That's the discipline corner! You gotta check that box! So Ethan's able to get one Nitro again. The anchor back site gets one to trade it out. Hiko and Shados, and Hiko wins it again. A 9-3 half for 100 Thieves.
Just on top of it, right there behind each other. The angles they're trying to frag from are just so covered by everything they need. You saw one go down, Hiko trade. Ethan went down, there was another trade from Nitro. It is so methodical right now from 100 Thieves. GAMBIT needs to turn it up here for the second half.
Oh, dog, they have to, right? Because how many the thing is, how many leases on life are both of these teams going to get, right? Like, how many times are we going to count either both of these teams out just to have them come right back? For 100 Thieves, this is a different team, right? Like, this is not the same team that we saw in Icebox, not at least the first half, not the same team that we saw on Ascent, and you can make the exact same argument for GAMBIT. This is not the same GAMBIT we saw.
It's not, but we are kind of hovering around the same amount of rounds. If 100 Thieves grab a few and GAMBIT runs it, we get a repeat of last map just on that flip side.
On the flip side, speaking of flip sides, we've dropped Sean, and we've upgraded to Bala, who's going to break down what he saw in the first half. Bala, baby, she's all yours.
I don't know if it's an upgrade. Sean, I think, got a little scared after he saw that first half on Icebox, so he's feeling a little down, and he's in his feels right now. We're going to go ahead and try to do our best impersonation of Sean, of course, by taking a look at this round. This is an example of how ultimates can really, really change the way the game is played with how many there are in this round. Let's go ahead and start talking about them. We have the Knives on Defo. We have the Astral Wall from Redguard. We have the Viper's Pit from Chronicle. And on the other side, we have Ethan's. He's got the Seekers available. We've got the Null Command available for Steel as well. So what does GAMBIT cook up? Well, they're going to set up a lot of players, Sky and, of course, Defo over on this side of A. They've got the Viper Wall placed down, but meanwhile, everybody's actually moving over towards this B site with the spike. Astra's over there. That's Redguard. We have, of course, Chronicle as well moving his way back after placing that wall. So they actually want to bait out. Steel has been throwing a knife oftentimes over towards that A main just to get information and also potentially to suppress, but on the other side, they know too what the ults are on the other side. So let's see what happens. Instantly, we're going to go ahead and roll the clip. Instantly, we see Defo pop the Knives. And why does he do it so early, you might ask? Maybe it's an updraft opportunity? No, it's to bait out the fact that this is going to be a push. The Astral Divide comes out, and Steel also pops his Null Command That's what that clip was meant to show, and then Ethan pops his Seekers. But pause it right here. The entire 100 Thieves side is not in this B site, so this gives a free opportunity for Chronicle to push up into the alley in spawn. Go ahead and roll it and put down his Viper's Pit himself. The Seekers kind of confirmed that it was all a fake. We also have Steel confirm that on the side of A. But how do you break this? Because now, pause it, what do you have left? You don't have the Seekers available for Ethan. He pushes out on top of the Viper's Pit because that gives him an angle. Nobody's going to want to peek up top. You want to actually kind of wait below it and play inside of that Viper's Pit. So what else do we have? Can we get down underneath heaven in this situation? Look at the tripwires that Nats has set up, the Astra Star here for Redgar as well. There's really a lot of difficult situations to deal with for 100 Thieves. Let's continue to roll the rest of the way out because they kind of clean it up. The very, very important thing is they did take out Defo earlier. Oh no, Defo's coming back through spawn right now. He's super, super late. That gives a lot of space now in this bottom side of B to actually fight through. And we'll see the rest of this. There's a tripwire there. How do you get at Chronicle? That's a big question right now that they answer because Chronicle just comes through. This is why we're talking about the composure down the line. It's getting really late, and GAMBIT just losing that Icebox game is making mistakes. Of course, Chronicle wants to keep that Viper's Pit up. Redgar came through heaven, of course. We saw the aftermath of this, but it wasn't really much left in the tank for that round, especially when 100 Thieves played the retake so well. So we've got one more half, and it looks like 100 Thieves is honestly in good shape to take this. Doug, Riv, Rug, I got to leave it to you guys to close this out.
Yeah, Bala, I think saying that they're in a good place to take it might be selling it a bit short. An excellent opening half, 9-3. They've read GAMBIT like a book, and I think it's just been such a tale of two maps. Well, I guess 3 maps, really.
3 maps.
On
Indeed.
just how well 100 Thieves have adapted, how they're reading GAMBIT so well. It's just night and day differences.
And it's hard to... you can watch 100 Thieves kind of reel and what they're doing, but it's hard to know when that experience for them is kicking in, what to do about it. Asuna coming up with amazing shots so far to make things happen. It's a lot of what we saw, again, GAMBIT doing. Confident open shots, starting the round, and it just makes the other team look discombobulated right off the bat as they reposition, get back into utility spots where they can get information. It seems like 100 Thieves is able to work off that pain point throughout the first half. Now our second half here, 100 Thieves on attack.
Clearing out ropes. They should get, yeah. So the Trailblazer gets all the way down there and they get a good bit of info, but Defo playing in the smoke with the shorty. Hey, you've got chips passing in the night, right? Seal and Asuna have both already passed by. Now the smoke comes down, but there's plenty of noise that's been made, right? Chronicle knows that they're coming. Chronicle gets tagged up. Trades a little bit back. Warning shots, but that's all it is for now. But they have control of mid again. They have control of ropes. Defo's in a spot to blow things up. No, Shorty not doing anything this time around. Asuna's Frenzy does. However, as they've taken mid control, they've taken Mail, they've taken B Heaven, and now they're getting deep onto the site. Push back Nats, push back whoever's left on the side of GAMBIT. This site is theirs.
Quick plant down. Let's see where the flanks could be coming from. Hiko watching the back already. And they are just waiting for Nitro. He could have a big play here.
Nitro.
Oh my word.
Middle of the map again, right? You feel that pressure. You understand that that's exactly where things are going to be coming in from. Nitro in a beautiful spot and wins the 2 gunfights it's needed. This does not look good for GAMBIT, Riv.
Quick cleanup here. Nitro finds the 3rd. Shados doing damage, though. You see GAMBIT still with the fist bumps. They know there's a lot of game to play, and 100 Thieves really want to make that untrue here. They grab the first round and may be able to carry it to the bonus.
Yeah, but I mean, is there a lot of game to play? Because we're talking 10-3. You mentioned the next round, so presumably we're looking at 11-3.
We thought the same thing on Icebox.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a very good point. But 100 Thieves, I mean, the momentum that they've had, the confidence with which they're playing, and I don't know that it's really changed much of anything. I think it's just Steel's calling, Nitro's mid-round calling as well have just been so good up until this point, right? And GAMBIT, again, it's just pistols.
Slow. Okay, Trailblazer first. Oh, what a shot from Chronicle. Very unexpected. A nice double up from GAMBIT here on A ramp.
Asuna's cleared out, and now 100 Thieves have to think twice about whether they want to go away, because they haven't gained really any ground that way.
Good bit of spams here, seeing if anybody will waste the util or make a mistake just for the time being. But a lot of respect being given here on this bonus round coming in, or I should say, second round coming in.
Ethan not holding back.
Whoa!
Nats has gone big. Chronicle has as well. Steal alone in this one before we talk about economy being flipped, right? Be off of situations like this. And the thing is, the remaining members of Gambit have all upgraded weapons. Nats is playing so patiently, he's not going to swing out. He's not going to give Steel the chance to punish that. They're just going to wait, make him come to them.
That's my favorite.
Wow. There's still a long way to go, but that's big.
Yeah, I love that. Always playing with the dart in you. You can kind of fake where your positioning is, how you play it. Nicely done by Nats there to not give that shot. He could have easily peeked in when Steel faked the shot over towards the side of Defo. That was Steel's objective, to pull somebody out off of looking a different way with your aim. Nats just cold as ice, staying and holding that position to finalize the round. 4-10 here as we hit round 15. That is very big for Gambit to stop the bleeding now.
Yeah, because so you got to think, if that round doesn't go their way, Gambit or excuse me, 100 Thieves are riding a bonus right now, right? Like they've got a fighting chance in this round, and while it doesn't always happen, there's certainly a possibility where 100 Thieves win that round. But because Gambit take away the Thrifty, 100 Thieves are back on pistols. They can't fight with the same oomph that they would be able to otherwise. But it looks like they're going to lean towards B anyway. And, well, they're met with Vandals across the board. Ethan and Asuna have dropped. The Spike does as well. The flash is great. Little pop flash right through the Viper wall, but that might be all it was doing. It was pretty out of Gambit, and they stuffed the push from 100 Thieves.
That was quick. That's a lot of what we have seen previously from Gambit in this series. So it seems like coming back online with that confidence could prove very useful here in the second half. And they do it a little bit earlier as well than 100 Thieves was able to on Icebox. So they're ready, they're raring to go. Full weapons across the board with Defo on the operator again. It's made such a difference for them. There was, talks about Defo being one that might have the most nerves on stage. Team's gonna have to help him. He has completely squashed any of those and showed everybody that he absolutely belongs here.
All right, 100 Thieves, they have a couple of rounds to give, so they're okay. All right, they still have a 5-round lead. They should be able to get 2, presumably 3 more rifle rounds. Even if they drop real bad, they lose like the next 5 or something like that, they're still at a spot where they can fight back, and they can punch back a couple of different times. And for Gambit, oh, well, that's an excellent start. That's not giving up any space mid.
And they're getting info. Chronicle knows that Asuna's mid. That's a big player. A lot could either be focused around Asuna or they're moving off him so that information gained. Gambit again goes to a bit of a reset. You see the jump peaks from Nats on screens. Doesn't see anything. Puts himself in a better position towards the site with his cam in A. And this looks like they're calling it right against 100 Thieves.
Well, and look, right, this is where Nats has made a living. Right here, right? Seekers have been used across the middle of the map, but this is where Nats has made a living in anchoring down this site. Moments like this have made Nats as famous as he is. That's what's given him the reputation that he has. Can he do it again? No. Ethan cleans that up right off the bat, extinguishes the possibility of that, and should be able to get the spike down. Asuna backing up. He's going to get away with his life. Excellent take from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, able to thwart the kind of knowledge from the cam.
Hiko.
Cavalry approaches. Shados takes down Hiko, but he's got a lot of work to do as the Seekers come back at him. They have eyes on the prize up top. Defo looking to make an up shot towards elbow, but they'll go for Vandals here to start. They're going to go for it with the time on the clock.
Switch things out. Now it's Tan for util. They turn the flash. Austin is in a great cross, but no, he's not able to land the shots in the Cloudburst. They're continuing to push it. Nitro. Ethan trying to hold the site back. Ethan good for one. Ethan not able to get the second. No, the clip runs dry.
And what would have been a save of the op for anyone else? They Gambit go straight forward as Defo throws his op on the floor, picks up a Vandal, and they sweep that round out from under 100 Thieves.
And like there was so much room that 100 Thieves were able to create off of Hiko's big 2K. Almost gets the third here with the flash in his face. The cross was great, but just at the end there, Ethan just running out of bullets, right? Like that's all that boils down to, and it's so crazy. It's split-second moments like that. Rounds are decided off of that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's 6-10 now as Gambit start to mount the rounds in their favor. For Defo still, they knew they had the money with the round win to get one back in his hands. A necessary thing as he peeks down A ramp, and they look to control the rest of the map on the side of Gambit's defense.
Just pistols for 100 Thieves, 3 Sheriffs, a Ghost, and a Classic. Asuna was able to get that ult orb, so you see them playing for that, bring that Blade Storm online and kind of equalize things at least a little bit. But they lean so hard. B right now, they don't really have any presence towards A. They also don't really have any presence towards mid. Ooh. As Steel drops.
Yeah, Chronicle getting a frag from where we saw Asuna playing quite a bit last round. Oh, the drop off. Can Redgar live? No, he gets taken down quick. 100 Thieves may have that entry to B.
Yep, that's big. They're able to get onto the side. Asuna going in aggressive. Oh, but Nats pulls him down. Nitro looking to get the spike down. Shados flanking around. Shados good for 2. He's not even going to get a chance at the third. The pistols are not enough. The Blade Storm was not enough either. Gambit gets to 7, but 100 Thieves, now they're back on a rifle.
They are. Great cleanup by the rest of Gambit there on the they take on the execution. Just Redgar goes down, and to an eco round, that's all it should be. Chronicle, Nats, Shados, Ultimates ready, and I think they're pretty close to having the other 2 on deck as well. So a lot of reasons for them to be able to sync rounds one after the other in their favor. And 100 Thieves is going to try to battle back hard here. That's the zeros going in. No need for a buy. 47.50 on Defo, so they're sitting on quite a bit of money here and can buy for other people like Redgar, who had to go back into the bank for this round. So Gambit are sitting pretty to make this look like a tie or even more.
4 rounds in a row. You've got Defo looking for that aggressive peek. Nothing doing. Viper's Pit used across the middle of the map. Here we go. You see 100 Thieves. They want to go aggressive. They want to go hot and heavy, and they're going to use the no command as the tip of the spear. They're going to push Defo off. Redgar spotted Steel, so he's down. But they should be able to protect him at least for a little bit. Hiko's able to clear one out. Yeah, look at him. Defend Steel. They get the res online, and they get the spike down. Counter Viper's Pit, too.
0 point doesn't catch too much on the score. And here comes Nats from the outside. Gonna give himself a gate, uplink, and now figure out where all of 100 Thieves is. Can Gambit bite down?
And they're all playing in the Viper's Pit. Asuna dancing around. Gonna get tagged up a little bit and start to play off-site. See members of Gambit slowly start to push their way forward. Defo going up top. Ethan gets cleaned up. Hiko playing in it as well. Asuna's in a good spot for it, but no, he gets traded out. Hiko in a 1v3, but they're so weak! Hiko, they're so weak! Hiko, they're so weak! Hiko, just on the other side, the tap. No, he's gonna fake it out, and that might give his position away, but Hiko does it again! A Red Bull clutch of 4K for 100 Thieves!
Incredibly pivotal round coming in. Hiko does go down, but this is going to cause that rebuy for Gambit to have to come in. They will be dropping each other's guns, which brings the bank down, and 100 Thieves needed to find a way to stop that bankroll from going up. That's a first round loss going onto the side of Gambit, so they got 1,900 on top of everything they have now. 2,400 if they lose another one, and a lot of them are on 0 right now. So that means 2,400 credits in the bank if they lose this next round. That's how 100 Thieves can now work off the economy game, and Hiko's clutch game.
Dog. Let's go. Let's go. What a play. What a series, right? Like
what a series.
I mean, both teams have just been so good. Neither of them are willing to step back. Neither of them are willing to give an inch.
Knockout punches to get to the knockout round, Doug. Oh, my word. We see it round after round. It's going to be another team timeout from 100 Thieves, a bit in the lead. Not the same kind of timeout they did on Icebox, where they had 9 rounds in a row. This is, again, though, to recompose, make sure they're resetting, and understand 0-0, play it the same way with the information we now have.
Now, we start to think about the next round. Gambit will have rifles, right? They do still have enough for the op. You touched on the economy. Heavy spend at a couple of these players. Defo and Shados, 7,500 to 6,400 credits. So they're I mean, they're emptying out the bankroll, right? They're putting out everything that they have in order to really be able to fight back in this round, because you have to understand, right? For GAMBIT, now we're talking about how their windows are closing, right? Their opportunities at coming back and making this thing competitive are starting to dwindle, and 100 Thieves, I mean, they've got everything in front of them.
Setting up across the map, we can see where the Astra Stars are placed. Pretty consistent throughout the rounds.
So if she trailblazes out, Steel can swing off of that. Keep an eye on that. See if Ethan, there's the trailblaze. Steel swings right off the bat. Pushes Defo out of mail with the flash as well. Now, Defo didn't get spotted, so they don't know that there's an op. Waiting on the other side.
That timing of the drawback on the smoke.
Oh, and the flash, it's beautiful. 100 Thieves are playing around their utility so well right now.
Nitro literally saving Steel by the skin of his teeth there with the perfect smoke. Pulled back on a recalled Star. Steel now through the ropes. He's been doing this consistently. Feels confident on this play as the rest of 100 Thieves are still in a position to find and execute. There is so much room gained here by Steel, and he's just picking up the audio.
So you just saw Nitro drop a couple of stars towards A, right? Up in heaven. Just actually recalled the one from heaven, but dropped the one in defender spawn. The Cosmic Divide is going to come out as well. Nats has spotted Ethan. Oh my goodness, he saw everything. Everything's in front of him. Looking like they're going to try to pop flash. Do the Cosmic Divide. Nats gets cleaned up instantly. Nitro's able to get one on Shados as well. 100 Thieves have full control of the site. The remaining members of GAMBIT are just now showing up, and it could potentially prove to be a pretty one-dimensional attempt at a retake, because Steel's in a position to clean out everything that's coming in through heaven. But Redgar creeping his way forward. Steel just on the other side. That should give the cue. Redgar cleans up Steel. Hiko backing up. Spike continuing to tick away. 4v3 still in favor of 100 Thieves, as they counter with a Cosmic Divide of their own. Ethan, oh no, just a little shallow, but he gets a kill anyway. Hiko just behind him is able to spot Defo. He gets cleaned up. Hiko and Nitro in a 1v2 against Redgar. He's up in heaven, he's got the op, but he doesn't have his time. And really what GAMBIT don't have is time at this point. They're running out of it. 100 Thieves get to match point, get to series point.
Okay, for some reason I thought Redgar went down for a second, because this, I wonder if they actually, I mean, you give it to Defo. He does have Blade Storm though, but the pressure on his shoulders coming into this round is so immense. Remember what we said about how much money they would have. Look at the buys for final round. They've gotten pushed back and pushed back, but with this GAMBIT squad we've seen, it doesn't mean they are down and out. Just backs against the wall here. 100 Thieves looking to close it out for game point to get to that knockout.
Well, the interesting thing is, I mean, 100 Thieves are in a bit of weird buy too, right? You've got 3 Spectres and 2 Phantoms. So it's not like they're coming at this from full strength, but Seeker's coming out. They work towards heaven, they work towards backside. A couple of early kills coming out from GAMBIT. Defo and Redgar lighting up the kill feed. Steel hasn't gotten much closer. But Hiko trades 2. Nitro gets 1 as well, but that's all it's going to be. GAMBIT, they get to 8, and for now, they fend off the loss.
Oh, Defo. The rest of the team obviously coming up big there, but behind the operator over the shoulder with those big shots. And he is able to help the team come through. Look at Shados up top 20, fragging out. Defo has been kind of a little more quiet this time, but that does not mean he has not been putting in the frags that are impact frags to keep these rounds in GAMBIT's favor. Game point all the way to our OT. Can GAMBIT get 4 more? Eco round for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, certainly not what you want to see here. But again, they have some time, right? Like they have some room to work with, although the margin for error is getting smaller and smaller. It's still there. Clear out mid, clear out heaven. You know they want to go their way. They got the Blade Storm. Asuna's path has been cleared, right? And look at him, he's going all the way into spawn. Meanwhile, yeah, Asuna gets one onto Chronicle. Defo's going to have to run for the fences as Chronicle turns around, or excuse me, as Asuna turns around, reestablish back control of heaven. They're going towards B, but they've swapped spots.
Yeah.
You've got Nats and Shadows who are playing back in Garage.
And they have the spike. It's all of theirs. They force this, they push this. Will they be able to get in? Asuna's going to be the first one. Does he go up and everybody comes out low? It's not going to be that play.
Asuna.
They're just waiting for these to drop. He feels like he's got the flick, and it's not going to happen. Ethan now creeping in. Here's a reload. Sees one. Not going to be enough. GAMBIT brings it within 3.
Whew. Okay. we talked in the previous round about how 100 Thieves, they have a little bit of room to work with, right? You don't expect that to go their way. And yeah, they gave it their best effort. They had the Bladestorm online. I liked what they dialed up, worked their way back into defender spawn, try to wreak some havoc back there, flip the map. But I think the problem, as you said, was the spike was down in garage. GAMBIT saw it, right? They could squat on it, pitch a 10 around it, and they had no problems. But again, now 100 Thieves, they're in a much more comfortable position. GAMBIT are as well. They've still got a decent amount of money to work with.
Quick control over mid, at least to deter a fast push through. They don't want to give 100 Thieves that room immediately. And they do actually get an idea that 100 Thieves is playing it a little safe here. Phantom shots from more than one gun come from mid. And that's enough to just play the defense. And then I'm putting 2 piling into ropes now. It looks like GAMBIT may want to make a push out.
Timing. Okay, so they understand that they've lost heaven here. And they've got to swing out from ropes. They've got to swing out from ropes, but Hiko stops it! He stops it. He absolutely stops the aggressive push that was coming in from ropes that would have blown up the mid play. Huge coming out of Hiko.
Astrostar is going into the back of B to try to deter. You can still see one set there by Nitro. And that's not the way they're going to be going. Viper's Pit already used towards B, so they're going to start heading towards A, and Defo makes a very close shot on Steel to back up for another one.
Oh my gosh, he hits another through the cloud burst. He might be able to get a third. No, just misses. Ethan cleans that up, but Shados is there. Shados has shown up at just the right time to stop that as well. Things look so good, but now Nitro's left alone in a 1v2. He's got the spike. Shados is weak. Chronicle's going to show up, but he's going to show up late. Now it's on Nitro. For him to have heroics, yes, it's been Hiko a couple of times, but can Nitro provide the same spark? Does he have the same gene? Spike continuing to tick down. Cosmic Divide has come out as well. Nitro dancing his way around.
Defuse is going to be quiet.
Yeah, and he's not going to hear it, wrapping his oi all the way around. Shados has started it.
They're not looking.
And Nitro doesn't know. Shados has started it, and Nitro doesn't know. Shados has started it, and Nitro doesn't know! Shados steals the defuse away right under his nose!
Lapse. Maybe a lapse, I'm not sure. There was no play towards the end and a lot of time there. GAMBIT has played the firefight on those rounds most of the time. So there is an inclination that Nitro feels like that may happen once again, but they quickly get the defuse, knowing they may have that option that the sound was deadened by the Cosmic Divide. Shados absolutely playing out of his mind, and he is somebody you should continue to keep your eyes on here if you don't know who GAMBIT is. Stage 3, he had high frags, and already here in the international land stage, he is doing the same.
Lighter by coming out from 100 Thieves here, 2 Spectres and a Sheriff, and again, for GAMBIT, things have gone so well, they're sitting pretty. When it comes to money, it's got to hurt if you're 100 Thieves, but again, this is where experience comes into play, right? Like, this is where we've been there. We've had things like that happen before. Certainly a chance to make things happen. And the grit that GAMBIT have shown, refusing to go away, refusing to fold, are now in a position to really push 100 Thieves to the brink. Oh my goodness, Nats anchoring down the site. He was able to get one, able to get a second as well. There's still 2 rifles and a Spectre in the hands of 100 Thieves. Ult's going to come out as well. Nitro gets the spike down, and Hiko gets ult.
3v2 situation. This could bring 100 Thieves to knock out Defo. Shados, once again, the 2 alive to bring it back into GAMBIT's favor.
Defo's got an op, but we've seen that he has no problem taking these up close and personal op fights. Shados drops down, nothing doing. They're all huddled up in the Viper's Pit. There's nobody going to be playing around garage as well. They're all huddled in on the site. They're playing it tight. Defo goes up top. May get a spot on his Steel. No, Steel swings out. Defo's not able to land the shot. Steel does it. Nitro does it as well. They were down, but they refuse to go quietly into that good night. They take down GAMBIT. They're going to the knockout stage.
What an amazing series to close this day out. 100 Thieves find themselves moving to the knockout stage, but